When I got to find out at the beginning of June that Arc System Works is now the sole owner of all the Technos franchises, I jumped for joy because I love Arc System Works. Arc System Works has essentially put out some of the best franchises and always attains extremely high quality in everything that they've touched. So I was happy to go and hear something like that because Technos has tons of arcade games I've given a crap about. Two franchises, though, that I've always loved to death and have been a big part of the reason why I enjoy the beat-em-up genre so much happens to be River City Ransom and Double Dragon. Now, the last time we got to see Double Dragon was in Double Dragon Neon. That was made by WayForward, though, so I don't know if they didn't enlist the aid in WayForward to go and jump on board in conjunction with Arc System Works, who oversees the project, and then to go and create like Double Dragon Neon 2, which a lot of people are kind of iffy about that, and I say it's one of the best damn installments in the entire series, period. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Double Dragon Neon is phenomenal. The music in it, seeing Skullmageddon, which we already know he's like the Cobra Commander of the Double Dragon universe, like all the stages, all the different enemies, the amount of depth in it, the fact that, again, we got RPG mechanics in it, similar to the River City Ransom series, I love the hell out of that. But if they just want to go and reboot it and start from scratch, hell, I'm fine with that. I just want to go and play more Double Dragon. But then River City Ransom, which I've long considered to be one of the best co-op games, one of the best beat-em-up games, one of the best NES games, for me personally at least. A lot of my friends I played through the game with countless different times. I've played translated ROMs of the sequels and some of the other titles that are on the Famicom. I know that there's the one that's set in like feudal Japan. I always forget the name of that one, but I got to play it thanks to romhacking.net. So I was like, hooray for stuff like that and people going and busting their ass translating this shit because it's a big deal to fans like me. But River City Ransom come back, I know that there was the whole Kickstarter over River City Ransom Underground. I don't know how that plays into this entire different shift for the Technos properties, just because obviously there was a different agreement made prior to that entire acquisition, so who the hell knows? But River City Ransom, I think the last official one, if I'm not mistaken, was River City Ransom EX on Game Boy Advance, which is just a remake of sorts of the original River City Ransom. Really good, mind you, but we haven't seen much since then. And some of the Super Nintendo games and the Famicom games, all of them are fun as hell, but I want more of that series because, I mean, I love the Yakuza series, which I'll say to death is my all-time favorite beat-em-up franchise ever to exist, because if it's an RPG, it's a beat-em-up and has one of the best storylines ever. Well, River City Ransom kind of started that entire thing. You know, going around to all the different shops and getting upgrades, getting different stuff to go and up different stats, going back and grinding and getting coins, beating living shit out of enemies, they're like, borf, borf. You know, and with Double Dragon, when Double Dragon's had hiccups here and there, you know, when you see things kind of like, I don't know, Double Dragon 3, for example, which is just fucking god-awful. Some of the different ports that they've had of the series, I just didn't understand. I was lucky in my very first chance to ever play Double Dragon was Double Dragon 2 The Revenge, which I've said in past different videos how much I enjoyed it, and also one of my favorite box cover arts because it looks so fucking badass. When you see it, it screams the 80s, and that's absolutely fine because, you know, that was the perfect time for that kind of shit. But both of those franchises I want to see happen because, hell, we had a Guilty Gear beat 'em up and Guilty Gear Judgment on the PSP. I would love to see something that's using the graphical stylings of the older Guilty Gear games, or even perhaps the new Guilty Gear where it's technically cel-shaded, but it looks like it's 2D because it's done so well. They could go with the Persona art or even the Blaze Blue art, whichever you want to go and work with. But that 2D sprite work is fucking amazing. Now just imagine a 2D beat 'em up or a belt scroller, whatever you want to go and call them, because some people will go and call it different shit. Just imagine those done up in the same exact way with the amount of depth that they could go and offer, and I want a full-fledged disc release of these games, mind you. I know that they'll probably aim for a download, but fuck all that shit. You know, these games deserve to be on store shelves where people can go and find them, and they need to really go and push these and revitalize the franchises, because I know a lot of people would love them and pick them up. Newer generations aren't gonna think, man, beating the living shit out of people with all these badass combos and these crazy fucking weapons, along with some of my friends with online co-op and 4-player multiplayer deathmatch style shit. Oh no, I'm not interested in any of that stuff, and the fact I'm going and leveling up and there's New Game Plus where I get to advance to new areas with additional story. Fuck all that shit. That doesn't sound interesting at all. It's opposite day, by the way. And I love sarcasm, just canoeing down that fucking river of it. But for real, this is a great thing Technos, Arc System Works, I think that they'll actually take really good care of them because they've been good about bringing games outside Japan, not just hoarding them over there where nobody else can go and play them. And if you've played any of these games, whether it was in the arcade or it was on the consoles like I did, then you understand how great those franchises are. And keep in mind, I'm just focusing on 2. You know, there's plenty of other ones out there. I mean, the Renegade series, just as a quick example off the top of my head, which technically is like a predecessor to the Double Dragon and River City Ransom games. As a matter of fact, I think that's like one of the earliest beat-em-ups. And we'll ignore shit like Karate Champ, because Karate Champ's fucking garbage. Unless they want to go and bring that back and be like, remember how fucking awful it was? Well, no, it doesn't suck. Kind of like how they were trying to bring back Shaq Fu and be like, no, this one won't suck balls. We recognize and kind of embrace the fact that it was shit, but, you know, Karate Champ, that's just some stuff that you're embarrassed of. And you're like, why did we do this? Why would we ever think of doing this? So, yeah, or even the Double Dragon Neo Geo game that came out on the SNK arcade boards, that was fucking cool as shit. Granted, it was based off the movie, but still, that game was really, really good. It was essentially just like King of Fighters, Fatal Fury, and all the other shit, so there you go. But there's a whole lot that they could go and do, but Double Dragon and River City Ransom are 2 of the most well-known franchises out of all the entire Technos games, and they have a lot of obscure arcade games, but those are the ones I think that would be the most profitable for them, and they'd get the most bang for their buck, so hell, why not? So roll with that. Either way, opinions and thoughts on it, you know, think that's good, don't really give a shit, don't even know what that stuff is. Emulation, my friend, or just look onto PSN or the Virtual Console or wherever the hell else and support that kind of shit, unless they also have it on Steam. I have no clue off the top of my head because I own the actual games. Not the arcade versions, obviously, because that's too much money, too much space. I fucking wish. Man, that'd be awesome. Anyway, this is AlphaOmegaSin, as always, nerds, nerettes, and gamers game the fuck on.